All right, ladies and gents, we're back. We're back, baby.
Hey, everybody.
We're going to talk a quick segment today for time constraints, but that's okay. We're still going to have some good content to share concerning the Minnesota shooting.
Yeah, the ICE shooting of the lady,
woman.
the lady
Woman.
that was, well, he just said, who was shot by an ICE agent. I don't know if I think you did briefly give your thoughts before recording this segment. I'm just gonna say that that's a situation that I can only describe as tragic.
Yeah.
Because when it comes to a lot of police shootings, or in this case, ICE incidents, there are points where I'm like, okay, if this cop did this, this is terrible. He should not have done it. If a civilian did this, he or she should not have done it, and they had it coming. And then there's a tragedy. Let me give an example of a tragedy. Is there's a kid, I think 6 years old maybe, playing with a toy gun in the park. There was a cop, and he got a little suspicious, so he asked him to put the gun down. And the kid started trying to aim it at the cop, and the cop shot the kid in the process. I would describe that as tragic because the kid didn't know any better. He was like, it's a toy gun, it's going to be no harm. And then you have the cop where, yeah, it was a toy gun, and I did not see how the gun looked, so I can't say anything. You should be able to recognize what's a toy gun and stuff. But at the same time, when you're in that position as a police officer, if you're put in that position, you have one or two choices. You either, one, run the risk of not shooting and losing your life in the process, or someone else does, or you make a choice to shoot and you either stopped a perpetrator or you didn't stop one, and now you had to live with that on your conscience. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to look at that as tragic because I don't think the kid was stupid, and I don't think he had any intentions of violence. And I don't think the cop would have wanted that outcome to happen. I think that's tragic. I think that's what happened here. My stance is this. The ICE agent should not have been trigger happy. I am going to say this, though. When they're telling you to shut down your car and stop interfering with an operation,
That's what you do.
that is what you do.
Yeah.
If I'm pulled over by a police officer and, there's suspicion, there's a suspect in my car, I'm not going to describe my car to people, but, they say I'm a suspect just because of the vehicle I drove and stuff. And I'm told to keep both my hands on the wheel. If I decide to move my arm, and it's to get a tissue, it's to call my girlfriend, whatever. But if I'm disobeying orders, the cop has every reason to think, if I can't keep my hands on the wheel, I must be reaching for something dangerous. That is the risk that you run into being in law enforcement. You can't trust humans unless they do what you tell them to do. Now, look, there's an abuse of power. I don't disagree with that. And same thing with ICE. They have limitations, and I'll hold them to equal account. If you're told to do something, you need to do it, or you run a higher risk of being shot and potentially killed in the process.
Right.
I am not going to say ICE is more in the right, and I'm not going to say the woman was in the right. I'm going to say the ICE agent is wrong for getting trigger happy because of something that did happen with another agent where they actually were run over by illegal immigrants or by a person trying to get in the way of an operation. But then the woman should not have tried to interfere with an operation prioritizing illegals over our ICE agents.
Correct.
That's just my 2 cents on it.
No, I'm with you. There's a lot of things in life, especially right now in present day culture, where two things can be correct at the same time.
100%.
And over the last 10 years, especially over the Biden administration, I'm not blaming Biden, but I am at the same time. It was always about tribal politics. You have to be on one side or the other. This side, I'm not riding the fence because I'm scared or I'm intimidated by I don't want to say anything offensive. I literally think two things can be true at the same time. I think there was an overuse of force, but I also think the woman was completely non-compliant, which is what a police officer is asking you to do when it's like get out of the car
or shut down the car, whatever.
Shut down the vehicle.
Maybe
get
both
out.
hands.
That was, but obviously he over-exercised his right to use force on the second and the third shot. I mean, he prefaces it like going into that. You can kind of like, I mean, it's like on the new footage that they have. I think it's from one of the ICE agents that they released. I mean, it's plain as day. He calls her an F.A.N. bitch, like before they go to, exercise or apprehend the situation. So he's got a preconceived notion. Then you got the girlfriend of the woman who unfortunately got shot and killed. She is, they were lesbians, so you have another female involved who on the footage. She is like literally kind of antagonizing the ICE agents. She calls them both. She's like, "What are you gonna do, big boy?" That's literally the quote. "What are you gonna do, big boy?" Like, you can't do that either. I'm not saying she deserved to die. Obviously, that's an insane.
Nobody deserved to die.
No, but nobody. Neither of us are saying that.
That is, if someone dies,
But
it's like you had to make sure you couldn't do anything.
There's two parties. There's both parties at fault. I think in the end, he overextended his boundary of what he was supposed to do in that situation. But I'm not in his shoes, and either is anybody else when somebody's trying to run you over with a car. But I mean, the new footage shows that shot number 2 and shot number 3, he's a foot and a half from the car. So the first shot, she is literally running him over, and then if you do it set frame by frame, now he's not by the car. She's still, and then you pop off shot number 2 and 3.
So let me ask you.
That was the debilitating shot. They believe it's shot number 2.
So the thing,
meaning,
look,
I'm sorry, not debilitating, to be like exactly accurate. That was the deciding and fateful shot.
So when you say like the second and third shot, she was like a foot away or something like that.
The car is a foot from the ICE agent, so you can't use the argument, well, he's getting run over and he didn't know. No, he is not.
So I guess I'm not familiar with law enforcement protocol or ICE protocol for that matter. I would think they're fairly similar.
Oh yeah,
but
they gotta be.
But if I'm not mistaken, and again, I'm not a cop and I don't want to sound ignorant. I'm pretty knowledgeable, but I don't know everything, every single detail. I don't have a list of knowledge of what police and ICE agents are trained to do. But as far as I know, is when you feel your life is at stake and someone has presented to be a threat. In this case, like if I'm a police officer, not an ICE agent, but if I'm a police officer, and I say, don't start the vehicle, don't take off, or whatever, and all of a sudden the person starts trying to hit me with the car, right at then, aren't I supposed to say, okay, they are now intending to harm me or harm other people, and I have to take action? Do you not think, and I'm not trying to grant everything to the ICE agent again, he's gonna have to deal with the legal ramifications, the moral ramifications of it. But wasn't he doing his job in saying, okay, now, this is just nuance. Like, do you not think that after already nearly being ran over by the woman, she was now seen to be a threat, and he saw the means of, okay, I gotta stop this now? What do you think? Am I wrong?
It's
Am I
gray
ignorant?
area, yes and no. Like,
so what's the yes
play
part?
on that is to discharge if he feels that the car is going to kill him. You can discharge the weapon, but it is clear in the video the car is turning away from him, and he discharges shot number 2 and 3. So they have the license plate because the other ICE agent went behind. What should have happened is you tried to apprehend the vehicle, get her out of the vehicle, shut down the vehicle. That didn't happen. She takes off. she's screwed. Like, he shouldn't, if it was me and I'm the cop, but I'm not in his shoes, I mean, stuff gets crazy.
Yeah.
Real quick and in a hurry. So he discharges his weapon because he feels his life's threatened at that moment. I don't know how legitimate that's going to play out in court, because they got you on tape walking up to the car effing bit. You know, like, he's already got a preconceived notion, and he's letting the girlfriend get to him. You know, hey, big boy. You know, like, as the cop, you have the license plate. She's going to go to jail. Like, regardless. Not, you have it on film. If he didn't discharge the weapon, the ICE agent would be completely free of any wrongdoing because he didn't do anything wrong. The minute he fired the weapon, now you get into discrepancy. Well, was his life really in danger? Did you go in with a preconceived behavior by calling her an F.A.N, bitch? I don't know. It's a gray area. What they're gonna do, my opinion, I'm not a lawyer, but I read a lot. What they're not gonna he's not gonna be convicted of murder, which is what all the liberals and the very woke population wants.
And the
what they'll do is they'll convict him, the ICE agent, but it'll be taken down because, well, he did feel his life was in danger, so he'll get manslaughter. So rather than going to prison for 10 years plus, maybe the guy does 2 to 4 years, and nobody's happy. But that's how you kind of silence that whole situation, because there's no happy ending. You got somebody that lost their life, but she is on camera, like evading arrest, or not arrest isn't the right word, evading police command, hey, stop. They didn't have the right to take her out of a car, beat her, take her to jail right away, but they had the right to assess the situation, because you got people antagonizing them and preventing them from doing their job. Their job is to go after, by federal doctrine, to go after illegal immigrants. So he was trying to do his, and they're stymieing that. So you have to shut down the vehicle, take the questions, they have your license plate, and just drive away, and everybody would be happy. And if she just drove away and tried to run him over and he didn't discharge his weapon, then she, meaning the unfortunate woman that got killed, forgot her name, I should have wrote it down.
Wasn't it Renee?
I think you're right. I think
it's
the
like
first
Renee.
Name, I don't remember the last name. That's what I usually like to get, because it's more important than the first name. But I mean, it's one of those situations where there's going to be no happy outcome, and both the far left and both the conservatives love this. Why? Because again, now they got us fighting each other left and right, rather than paying attention to what's important. The hierarchy, the oligarchy of the U.S., the Trump administration, the oligarchs and the Zionist oligarchs, the billionaires.
Or the main issue being that the left believes in just opening the border and letting every illegal in because they want to escape dictator countries, and then the right says, no, we should let people in legally, but we should make them require 27 years of citizenship, which is a load of BS.
It's a load of BS.
If they were to just fix that problem alone, just say, hey guys, this is just my opinion, if people disagree, that's fine. If they were to say, hey, we're going to allow legal immigration now, you guys all come to a single file, it's not going to take you 27 years, might take you 2. Or here, you've established residency, you're not draining the system, okay, we're going to grant you legal citizenship. That's it. There you go. You've been, even though you were here legal 15 years, come through this process, we'll get you sped out and all that. But guess what? They're not going to do that because that gives them an election issue. And now, because that gives them an election issue, it's going to pit the left and right against each other, and then people like you and I are going to say, you guys, you're all pawns.
You're all missing the boat. The whole point is to pay attention to what government is doing right now, which is we're being subservient to another nation that's got 8 million people. Why? We have 350. We're a superpower. Why are we going into other nations, which we'll do next week on a podcast?
Yeah.
Why are we going in and just stealing oil? Well, there's a reason why, but I mean,
This sounds like
detail
George
that.
W. Bush's term. We're going after this bill for
It's
oil.
like, what is going on? But everybody is just, we're talking about this unfortunate death, a shooting between, and it keeps the left and the right fighting while they extort money upon money upon money. Billions of dollars. The biggest transformation of wealth has happened over the last 7 years. It dwarfs what happened in the previous 50. You don't think they want this? They want us fighting each other so they can get the money.
Yeah, they do.
So,
It's pathetic.
I know he's got to go. We'll cut it short at that point, but we'll have some exciting episodes next week. We'll do a few. Maybe we'll do 3 next week.
Hoping to, yeah.
Yeah, maybe Morgan will join us. Who knows? But we'll have some exciting topics to talk about. I know one of them will be for sure about Venezuela. I love to inform the audience about like what's really going on. Maybe in the next week more will come out, but I've done some digging, and it's just disgusting what happened. What's happening now and what's happened over the years since 2003. What we've done to Venezuela, it's criminal, like what we've done. But we've done the same thing to Syria. We did the same thing to Libya. Did the same thing to Yemen. This is all about money. It's all about natural resources. This isn't about democracy. We're not fighting for,
not fighting to protect the kids like they're claiming they are.
Yeah, we're not fighting to liberate the world from communism. It's all bullshit. It's crazy. So maybe in the next week we'll learn more about that.
Yeah.
Maybe in the next week I'll get a date. Who knows? Maybe both won't happen, but we'll see. But
of course.
by the way, if you want to come to Brewdog tomorrow, I don't know the 5 people that may watch this over the next 12 hours. But if you want to come to Brewdog tomorrow, I'm doing a little trivia. It's Friends, the TV show trivia. Should be fun.
Great.
I'm only giving the shout out because Brewdog all of a sudden doesn't know how to market again.
Apparently not.
They had a good run. We had a good run for 2 months, and now it's back to the way it was. They don't do any promotion of my trivia. So, but anyways, we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in. If you want to leave any comments, especially on Nick is forming a Bongino fan club like at the end of the content. So maybe you want to donate to that cause. But we'll come back next week. We'll have some fun. We'll have a very informative show. And thanks for tuning in.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next time.